What's up everybody, Steven here with Neural DSP. And today I want to talk about Gojira. So this is a vid that you guys have been asking for a lot. And I really don't blame anyone. Gojira is, in my opinion, one of the most unique voices in metal today. So today's video is going to be a little bit different than previous videos. On previous videos, I used the original tracks to compare my guitar tones to. But this time, I thought that I would make a cover of one of their tracks from scratch. Now this may not sound exactly like the original, but I'm hoping with some research, some knowledge, and some experience, I might be able to get as close to the original as possible. So I chose a couple of sections from their song Silvera off of their latest album Magma and got to recording. And in this video, I'm gonna go over all the elements that went into choosing the tones for this mix. And then any additional questions on production or mixing that you leave in the comments down below, I'll address on a live Q&A that we hold on this channel every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then as an additional bonus, I've packaged up the multi-tracks to this and left them in a link in the description down below. So let's go ahead and jump into the session. So for the drum set, I chose the P4 Matt Halpern signature set from Get Good Drums. Now this thing slams from the get-go, so it was easy enough just to arrange the parts, humanize the playing, and then just blend everything into the mix. Now for bass, Jean-Michel uses the Fender P-Bass and the Fender Super Bassman Pro with the TS7 Tube Screamer. And since Gojira has a warm, open, sort of rock vibe, for the bass I went with the VDU setting on the Dark Glass Ultra plugin. And then I recorded the track with a Fender Squier P-Bass. But since I'm using the Dark Glass Ultra, I still have to split my bass tones in order to get a clean low end so I can compress it into the mix. So in order to do that, I actually just pulled up the parallax and then turned off the mid and the high distortion so I'd have the low end, and then I just dialed up the compression a little bit. After that, I pulled up an EQ and then I've high passed it to the point where the tones blended well together. So since Silvera is off of the latest album, I'm only going to focus on the guitarist's current choice in gear. For guitars, Joe uses his signature Charvel Pro Mod San Dimas, and Christian uses his signature Jackson Rhodes guitar. And when it comes to amps, Joe has mentioned that they used the EVH 5153 in the studio on recording this album. With that in mind, I used my ESP LTD Eclipse, and then I chose the Archetype Nolly with the third head and third cabinet for my gear. So for the impulse response section, I used the Dynamic 57 and the Dynamic 421 to get kind of a brighter tone out of the amp. So for the head section, what I really wanted to focus on was getting the tone right. So I actually dipped the master just a little bit to brighten up the tone again. I brightened the presence and the high, and I boosted the low to really pull out a lot of warmth. And I actually lowered the gain just a little bit because there's not a ton of gain on those guitars. A lot of that is being filled in by the top end of the bass, actually. And then on the EQ, I actually did boost 125 Hz and 65 Hz just to give it a little bit more air coming out. And then I boosted a little bit of the top end as well. Now, Gojira doesn't use overdrive pedals in their lineup, but I ended up using this first overdrive pedal just to give it a little bit of grit just before hitting the head section. And then you can see I actually dropped the level so that way it wouldn't distort quite as much when it hit the head. And then when we talk about the leads, I basically had the same setup, I just changed a couple of settings. I kept the same impulse responses from the rhythm section. The EQ is a little bit different, but generally the same idea of getting a little bit more air out of the low end and a little bit more presence out of the top. In the head section, I did boost the gain and I kept the master at noon, but generally boosted the same parts. And then I used the compressor on the front end with the snappy attack engaged. At the effects section, I have the reverb and the delay basically on default, except for I adjusted the mix down from the noon position on the delay too. So now I'll go ahead and show you what my session looks like. It's actually super simple. I have one left and one right rhythm guitar. I have two leads because I had to dial in a little bit different input for the second half of the lead. I have my bass tracks, which is my bass top and my bass bottom. And then I have my drum kit. And that's it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and package up these multi-tracks for you guys, and you go ahead and tag me on any posts, remixes, or tones that you guys make from this session. So you guys have as much fun with this as you like. So that is how I would dial in some Gojira tones. And don't forget about the presets, they're in a link in the description down below. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell icon for notifications on when we upload our videos. Comment down below, let me know what questions you have, if you like this sort of content, or what artists or guitarists you want me to dial in next. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.